It's the rundown, June 13th. Finally, some good news for America. 4th of July merch is now available at the Barstool Sports store. Whether you're going to a cookout, the swimming pool, that's all I can think of.
Yeah, I mean,
they got something for you.
The correct way to say cookout, barbecue.
Nah, cookout. Because there's not necessarily always barbecue. It's like burgers and dogs, so you say cookout. Barbecue, I feel like you got ribs, you got, right?
I think it may be a regional thing. We just say we're going to a barbecue, and then whatever's there is there.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting technical and split here, but I think cookout would be.
Either way, I mean.
Right.
Either way, you're gonna be looking good.
Sharp in your
Without a
Barstool
doubt.
Sports.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, store.barstoolsports.com. Whatever you need, you got to have an American flag something whenever you're doing 4th of July.
The pool, the beach.
Yep. Denver Nuggets beat the Heat in Game 5 to win their first ever title. I know everyone's kind of counting the Heat out for every series, but this series, everyone's like, all right, Nuggets definitely have this. Jokic kind of seemed like he didn't want anything to do with it. The funniest part was Jokic's brothers tossing up Malone. Just like, did you see that? And I feel like he didn't want to get picked up and tossed, but it's just like when his brothers want something, it's like, all right, we got to do it.
We're going to do something.
It's like Hasbulla, kind of. It's like, all right.
Yeah, he was upset about the parade. Like, he's doing the champagne kind of. I think I'm kind of getting Trout vibes a little bit.
Trout, yeah?
A little bit. I think he's a superstar. I don't know if he's comfortable in his own skin of what comes with that.
Is this the most low-key celebration you've seen from any superstar in any sport? I can't remember anyone being this like, we won.
That's the kind of guy he is. I think
you're right. I think it's true to himself.
I feel like Jimmy Butler kind of does the same thing, but I feel like he tries too hard sometimes. Like I think there's a quote the other day where he's like, "Yeah, I wouldn't care if I was in the Hall of Fame," but like Jokic, I feel like he legit doesn't give a shit.
But he obviously.
But he does.
But he's so great. He doesn't. I guess I give him credit. He doesn't.
There he is
himself.
Yeah, there he is drinking a beer, and he just looks like he's just like any dude at a party. He looks like he's a frat dude at a party, just like, yep.
I saw one tweet. I think it was Marty's. It said like he's celebrating. He just won the first game of the regular season.
Yeah.
It was just another day at work. He even said, "Oh, now we get to go home." It's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, some guys, they were just wired differently. But
do you give a shit about the parade though? If you're a professional athlete, like I don't want to go to the parade. Parades are boring.
I think it's cool if you have like kids who are a little old. Like when Jordan probably won in '98. I think his kids are around the same age as me, so they were like 11 and 12. I bet you they remember that.
Like Brady's kids are always on the floats.
And shit like that. Yeah, or I guess way down the road, like in 20 years, he could show the little kid like that picture. You know what I mean? But for the most part, no. I think the parades are kind of.
It's gotta be
You're
fun.
trapped. It's definitely fun. You're probably getting
your
blacked
guys,
out.
People are cheering for you, having fun.
Yeah, but it's also a very stupid like.
I guess the city gets to see you. I'd rather just go with my guys to like a bar or some place where the people aren't. I guess you kind of have to. I just want to be on my own.
I think of the way I would enjoy the moments. It's obviously on the court, in the locker room after, and then probably the team party last night, and then maybe the parade. Because I also hate parades. But
I guess
just to be, you're kind of trapped on the float. You're going down. Then they all do that thing where they get to town hall and the corny mayor or something. And like.
We love our Nuggets.
Yeah, the Nuggets hit a home run. And you're like, what?
You've never watched a Nuggets game.
Right,
we can all tell.
so.
Yeah. I guess I said all this just to bring up this pretty much. Now, we won a state championship for cross country, and one of the dads on the team got like a fire truck to like lead the bus back into the school, and it felt pretty fucking cool. Even though no one in the town was like lined up, no one knew what was going on. They're just like, what the fuck is this? It's like, oh, it's cross country state championship. Well, that's kind of fucking.
So there was no one there. You're just by yourself.
Well, we're just like going down the main road of the town on a normal Saturday with a fire truck and it's just a bus. Like it wasn't like a set parade. It was just we're coming home from the meet.
It's like Youngstown Bob cutting the ribbon and the thing, the dedication.
All time story. Yeah, and there's no one. Trying to think what else. Are the Nuggets the favorite to win it next year? Or?
Yeah, naturally.
I feel like they're still the team to beat in the West.
Core, I don't think anybody's like worried about contract. I think everybody's pretty much under contract. Young core. I mean, he separated himself. He's probably the best player on the planet, which is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Should have won the third MVP. Like, it's just I don't know. It's weird because you watched the Bucks and we said the Bucks were a great team.
Yep.
And they've only won one, so it is hard to like go get a second one. You know? Do I think the Nuggets will probably get one with this core eventually? Yeah, but they they couldn't either. Like it's weird. A lot of really good teams have only won one in that time frame. You know.
How much of the Bucks not getting one this year was what's his face getting hurt?
Giannis?
Yeah.
A lot, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
I mean,
the East,
the middle
as
of the
it turns out,
series,
the East just wasn't that great. Like the Celtics were good on paper. You know, it's crazy. The Knicks, other than the Nuggets, the Knicks beat the Heat for the most games, I think.
Yeah, and even the 76ers didn't
Right?
do it.
No, the
They-
Celtics 4-7. That was before we said it before. Yeah, Celtics 4-7. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you got
And the Knicks gave away a couple of games too. It is what it is. But yeah, Heat. You know, I think they just ran out of gas.
yeah.
Good team too. The hypothetical I had last night when they showed the graphic is Spoelstra going to get to 20 years? Because he's been there for 15 with Miami. There's been 2 guys in the history of the NBA, 20-plus seasons, with the same team. Now, do I think he's earned to be there for 20? Sure, but 5 years is a long time.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
But he can
he's-
make. I mean, he
And
brought
a
this
lot
team.
changes, though, in 5 years. Like,
It does.
Butler decides, you know what, we want to go in a different direction. Like, it's crazy.
Him and Riley get along so well, though.
Riley is a
I mean,
huge
I don't know
factor
how
of it,
will Riley
too.
be there in 5 years? Probably not. I mean, he's so old now. You got to wonder how much longer he's going to go. But I don't know. Spoelstra, he's an incredible coach. I mean, when this team had no business being the NBA.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Baleen wire and bubble gum that he assembled it
Yeah,
with.
I mean,
It's
the
just
Five,
Celtics
random
are better. The
trash
Sixers
heap
are
parts.
better. Like, there's so many teams that are better. But he gets them there, and he got them there a couple years ago, too.
5 years is a long time.
I mean, also Jimmy Butler was hurt, so the Heat aren't really an 8th seed. They'd probably be what, like a 5 seed, maybe, if Butler doesn't get
Yeah.
hurt. But still, like, no one in the East scares me. Like the Sixers are like the 2nd seed. Like, I guess Celtics, and they're not even. But the West is where everything is, and then they got Wimby or whatever, and but the Spurs aren't going to be good for another couple of years. You know what I mean? Like LeBron.
Suns have a full season of Durant.
I can see the Spurs trying to make a move.
And get some like,
Something
veteran
around
players in
Wemby,
there,
yeah.
Because right now, I mean, I'm bad with names, but I couldn't name one player on the Spurs other than
Yeah, they don't have a lot out there.
John Rich. You got anyone for the Spurs?
Sure don't.
I think Wieskamp got a 10-day contract. I know he was floating around, but
Jeff D. Lowe has a look in his eyes like he knows. Name one Spurs player that isn't Wemby.
Right now?
Yes, dozen trivia.
Jeremy Schoen.
from Baylor.
I'll take your word for it.
Sure.
Jeremy Schoen.
Not only does he write the questions, he knows the questions. Jeff D. Lowe. Going to college baseball. Texas versus Stanford last night. Crazy ending. 6-6, tied up, 2 outs, runners on first and second. Stanford pops the ball up to shallow right center. It kind of reminded me of when the Braves and Cardinals played and there was that infield fly rule. It was like kind of that location. But like the center fielder and the right fielder just completely lose the ball. I don't know if they lose it in the lights. And Stanford wins, goes on to the College World Series, going to Omaha. Just a brutal, brutal way for kids to end their season.
And not really not an exact way to blame. Like, there wasn't an overthrow. Kind of like, I don't know if you could really even put it on those guys, too. It's just like a...
So 14 years
I
ago.
don't know, like, put it this way. Let's say, like, if you completely did a bad overthrow, it's like, yeah, it's on Vibbs. Like, this one, it's like, man, I don't know. What do you want me to say? Like, I can't really prove it to you until you go out there and look under the lights.
Yeah.
Just like a crazy, crazy...
But it's such a
See it
routine,
again?
like...
Can I see it again?
Also, so I do think both of them lose it, but the center fielder, I kind of feel like the center fielder's just kind of falling back, and he's like, all right, this isn't my ball.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the blame goes onto the right fielder.
Neither one of them had a clue.
14 years ago, on this very day, Luis Castillo dropped the pop-up in the Subway Series, Mets-Yankees. And that's all I could think of when I was watching this. Now, obviously, Castillo played second base, but yeah, it's a tough way to lose a game when it's that easy. You know, that's brutal. And to lose your season like that is even worse. That's crushing.
Like I was never the best player, but I have good memories of like good stuff happening.
You've had a parade.
Having you got led by a fire truck, but having something like this happen in my career, I would wake up every morning and I would think about it and just think about the boys' faces in the locker room as we go back and we're just are devastated.
Yeah, but it's weird because there's nothing differently you could have done. You know, like
No.
if you didn't leg out a single and you missed it by a step, like I could have came out of the box harder. Like with this, it's just like I don't know. It just got lost in the lights. I don't.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree with that. I think if you can do something, it is.
I actually think that's
worse.
worse. I almost rather I have a way to blame it. Like you learn your lesson. I'll never not leg out a single. I'll never. double tap, like, or take my time fielding it and think I have the guy. Like,
it makes you a better person. You're like, oh, I'll never be,
Right,
I'll
right.
always be
This
better.
is
This is just like God
kinda
hates
just
me.
freakish, yeah.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be successful because God hates me. That's rough. But congratulations to Stanford. I mean, you got to have those little blue pits every once in a while.
yeah, everything to
Yeah, you
path
can't always
to
win
the
on a
playoffs
grand
is
slam.
always
walk-off
wacky
homer.
breaks.
As a baseball fan, Klemmer, how do you feel about this? So you just
It's like Rico said, it's just tough. I mean, it's like not like you can really blame. Plus, it's college, so it's a little bit like, all right, how mad are we going to get at these guys? It's tough. Like I said, the Louis Castillo thing, though. I mean, I still think about it. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a fan of that team, you're going to be thinking about it for a long time, especially in
Yeah.
the College World Series.
yeah, I'm not mad at the kid. Like I'm not mad at the kids. If you're a fan, you're like, but I feel bad for the
Yeah,
fuck.
exactly.
Yeah. UFO whistleblower interviews are getting scrubbed from the internet. Just today, John Rich had something on TikTok that he was going to look at, and then all of a sudden it was gone. So UFO videos, they're cracking down.
Do you guys think UFOs are real? Do you believe in aliens, Rico? Because I think aliens.
I go back and forth.
I think
Yeah.
they exist, but I don't think they've been on Earth yet. Like I think this is all bullshit.
Aliens, I don't know about aliens. Like, do you consider like single cell life
No.
and bacteria?
No,
alien?
no.
No. Then
I'm talking like a green guy, looks like me, probably long arms,
Right.
like
So I was-
weird movements.
I saw the clip TJ brought up the
Probably
other day
not.
where it was like aliens are in the
No?
ocean.
Like every star is a solar system, right? So you don't think there's any aliens anywhere? We're the only beings in this whole universe?
Yeah,
The only
because I'm Catholic too. I believe God created. So I don't think God did aliens. I don't think God fucks with aliens.
There's no aliens in the Bible, right?
he created all this for
Yeah.
us.
All right.
I'm a holy roller now.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to believe, but I think the government taking this shit down off the internet makes it 10 times more suspicious than just
that's
leaving
the,
it up.
that's the weird part. Yeah, like I think there was on Google Earth. You can't go over like what is that, Area 51
Yeah.
or something. There's a lot of like
Yeah, that's always been like the case.
weird shit with that.
Here,
Joey Diaz was talking about it on Rogan all the time. Like,
I don't know what that alien video was, but it looked like the birthday party scene from Signs, where the
what's
alien
going
walks
on
across
here?
the screen.
What is this one?
I don't know.
This
They
is the
think-
one where the UFO body cam footage from the cop was caught. You saw a big green light land in somebody's yard, and then the owner of that yard immediately called the cops and said, hey, there's these giant, like 8-foot tall beings in my backyard. So those two things coincided at like the exact same time. And this footage really shows nothing. It's just the aftermath.
It looks exactly like the Signs birthday party scene, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
In the 80s, people would say that aliens would come to Earth and just do like these anal probes on people.
right? Yeah.
That seems kind of crazy.
Every-
Why would an alien be that interested in that?
Every survivor was like, "Yeah, they probed my asshole," and I was like, "What?"
I don't think that was going on.
I think that was just like a serial asshole
That's
prober.
still one of the
Yeah.
only. It's one of the only watchable things on SNL now. When
Oh, that sketch.
she left, but
yes.
those were when they would break. Whoever was Ryan Reynolds was sitting there and he couldn't keep a straight face.
Is that Kate McKinnon and
Yeah,
like Ryan
she's
Gosling?
got the
or that-
cigarette
That's
going
really
on,
strong
and
too,
she's
right?
saying these
Yeah.
awful things. It's just that show is unwatchable. That was a very funny skit.
I'm gonna come out and say it. Tim Robinson, I think you should leave. I think we're seeing it gets harder and harder to write a sketch show every time you do a season. So like
Right.
SNL gets shit on, which I mean sometimes they should. But,
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff they can't touch.
But it's like
and-
when you've been doing it
Yeah.
for 50
50
plus
years,
years,
almost
it's
50
like
years,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Be 50
Imagine
years
watching
there.
Tommy Smokes on. I think you should on what it. Sorry, what is? Please end this
Please
for
end
50
this.
years.
50 years,
I know.
yeah.
Fuck. Tommy's not here to defend himself, so I
No.
feel kind of cheap doing that one. All
That's
right.
okay.
Speaking of ending it, I think Wheel of Fortune should end now with Pat Sajak retiring.
Pat Sajak is about to retire after 40 years, which I feel like you're either a Wheel of Fortune guy or you're a
You have
Jeopardy guy.
or you have a brain. Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, exactly. You're a Jeopardy guy. I
Grew
mean,
up
you're a
with-
trivia champion. You have to be
Oh,
a Jeopardy
yeah,
guy.
absolutely. Grew up Jeopardy, but Wheel of Fortune, yeah, like my dad would say, like like these people are so stupid that it's got to be made up.
There
That's
was-
how we grew up. We would shame Wheel of Fortune, but you can't not acknowledge that Sajak's a legend. And then the stories would come out. They were like drinking during.
I saw they would go to there was like a Mexican restaurant across the street. They'd get like the massive tequilas with like
Yeah.
a Corona sticking in it.
And then obviously Vanna White, and now she doesn't even turn it. She just hits it.
Pat Sajak changed late night TV. He was a late night talk show host before Letterman. Look at this thing, huh? Before Letterman on CBS, he was a late
Your
night
butt
talk show
pad,
host.
you got to sit on that. I can see you being a bus driver, like a school bus driver, and having like the bead back.
I feel like a kid at like a Bennigan's. I'm like on a booster seat.
Yeah.
So he was the late night talk show host before Letterman on CBS, and he was such a failure. CBS is like, we'll give Letterman whatever he wants because this is such a disaster. And for like 2 seasons, when I was a kid, Wheel of Fortune had a different host. It wasn't Pat Sajak. It was this guy named Rolf, some German guy.
Really?
He was a football player, and he did. He was horrible. So I think Rico's right. The next Pat Sajak, it's not gonna be good.
Because even with Jeopardy, right? Like, I do think Jeopardy can go on forever, but the buzz is just not the same. And that's not taking anything away from who's hosting Ken Jennings and
Blossom,
and-
Mayim Bialik.
Yeah, Blossom,
Mayim
right?
Bialik.
So, like, they're good, but just the buzz to me is just not the same. I
Right.
need, I don't know, I need the face, I need the cadence, I need his.
It's like Bob Barker with Drew
Price is
Carey.
Right. I've never
Yeah.
watched, you watched that as a kid, but it's like, it's just not the same. I don't know. I also think it's a sign of, part of my take to the thing, like getting older, watching a guy like completely phase out of his career. Now he's ancient, Sajak, but now you feel older. It's like you watch.
Yeah, but you
him for
remember when he
30
was younger,
years.
though, right?
Yeah,
And it's-
exactly.
That's what makes me feel right. You're
yeah.
like, I remember when this guy was in his 40s. Now he's like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
too old
now,
to be on TV.
Yeah, now I'm almost there. It's crazy.
I mean, one day there'll be a day where Jeff D'Lo steps down from the dozen. We got Richie Coburn stepping up, and it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, or John Rich.
Or John Rich.
Right.
Not my dozen.
See what a disaster that would be if he was in charge of the dozen?
Yeah, I'm totally fine with Wheel of Fortune just going away. I'm not a Wheel of Fortune guy.
No, the problem is they make so much money. Like those shows are in syndication.
Right.
Both that and Jeopardy make a fortune. Because think about where you go in the country, there's a channel that has that on,
Yeah.
no matter where you go. It's all Merv Griffin money. Merv Griffin was the producer of those shows. He's a long day, but the Merv Griffin estate must
Yeah, they're
be
gonna
rolling
do
in.
just a generic person. I think they should go off the grid and like cause like at least get in the new. Because if you, I don't know, Kevin Hart takes fucking Wheel of Fortune or
Well, did it with
anybody
Drew Carey with Price is
yeah,
Right?
like anybody
Yeah.
who's safe, they're gonna be like, oh okay,
Yeah.
and it's the same. I think they should try to upheaval people. I think they should hire Jeff D'Lo. People are like, who the fuck's this guy? Now we have to tune in. Let's see
Yeah.
what he's about. Like, yeah, and you get a buzz.
And Vanna White's daughter is starting to do it now. And
Oh really?
Pat Sajak's daughter.
No,
That's Sajak's daughter, yeah.
No,
Oh.
she hosted, but who's doing the wheel?
Still Vanna White. But Pat Sajak's daughter has filled in for Vanna twice.
Oh, wow.
You've had the old bull, now you want the young calf.
She's the letter turner or she's the host?
She's the letter turner.
turner.
She did it
Oh,
twice.
yeah.
She
Yeah,
filled
she
in for
filled in.
Vanna twice, yeah.
That makes
Waiting
sense.
for a picture. Are we allowed to look at a picture? I mean, she's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Smoke.
yeah. There's a lot going on with Maggie Sajak.
Maggie Sajak.
Maggie Sajak.
Yep.
Yes, she is, yeah.
She's good looking.
Yeah.
Cutie. Can all agree. Oh, look at that pantsuit. Oh God, yeah.
So would you
I've never been.
So when you watch-
I haven't been this excited about a pantsuit since '96 Hillary.
would you watch Wheel of Fortune if she was the new host? Let's say she was Maggie Sajak.
No, not a chance.
I wouldn't either.
I need a strong male presence
Yeah.
to host my game shows, unless it's the weakest link woman.
Yeah. No, you can't.
You are the weakest link.
You
Goodbye.
suck.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Millions of crickets have taken over a small town in Elko, Nevada.
This is terrifying.
Love it.
Hell.
This is awful.
Ooh, I don't. Crickets.
Look at these crickets.
So I've been in a tank with cockroaches. I don't like the way like cockroaches or crickets' legs like grip onto you. That really grosses
Crickets
me
are
the
the
fuck
worst.
out.
We rented a house when I was a young kid. My parents didn't own it, and it had the plasterboard walls in the basement, and there was a sliding door to the backyard, and like crickets got into the wall for like it felt like forever, but it was really probably only a week and a half or whatever, and it was only in the summer and certain times. But my dad would be down there in the basement watching games, and you would hear the crickets are the fucking worst. He would have a bucket of our Papa Shop basketballs that we had with the Fisher Price thing, take it and fire it at the fucking plasterboard. And like it would stop for a little bit, and then like, but it would go again, and it was just like, crickets are the worst.
Where did you learn it from? I learned it from you, Dad.
Yeah, crickets are the worst, dude.
Marty had a
Two
good
people
point in
got
his
that
blog,
joke.
though. Imagine if you just woke up and you walked outside and there's millions of crickets all in your front lawn. You'd be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. So you talked about the crickets in the sliding door. Ladybugs would always get inside the fucking ladybugs. Also, I know there's like, maybe it's in Australia. There's a town where they have like tarantulas migrate, and you can drive your car on the highway, and you're just crushing tarantula bodies, and you can hear
Anything
it.
that travel like in packs. It feels like crickets in packs, cicadas in packs, bugs in packs are the worst.
It's like a biblical
Yeah,
fucking
like the locusts.
yeah. What am I looking for? Biblical, not curse.
It was the plagues.
Plague. Yeah, that was what I was looking for. You
really
are a holy roller today.
Man
Yeah.
of God. Have you thought about the cloth at all?
Nah,
No.
Would you never?
too corrupt.
Yeah. I feel like priests are all like
Nah.
not like touching kids corrupt, but like just like they're always like have a racket on the side. Because no one's ever gonna question a man of the cloth. They can drink as much as they want, and then they like have like a I don't know.
Yeah. But they like
Cash for
somebody
gold.
fucks up and they move them away and around like the minor league system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hide them all over the place.
Send him back to AA.
Like
Yeah.
Father
Yeah.
Tommy had a problem up in
and we
Worcester,
just-
so you're
right.
going to Worcester.
We'll,
It's like,
we'll
God
send
damn
you
it.
somewhere else. Like
Yeah.
they just rotate them around.
Yep. You're part of the system. You're not your own man.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get
They'll
it.
never throw you out.
After show, Frank roasted the Mets.
I was 10 years old. I wanted to be a baseball player. But then I realized I flinched whenever the pitch came. But you know what? My dream is alive again. I can't run. I can't field. I can just stand at the plate too and be a designated watcher.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frank the Tank. We just got a personalized jersey from Pete Alonso. He signed with that. Frank, they appreciate your fandom. Good seeing you, buddy, okay?
He did.
At the Pete Alonso
Yeah, it was pretty good.
comedy show that happens every year.
I think he had to cut some of his act.
Yeah, I guess he was told he had like a
Because the Mets
5-minute
weren't that
set.
great.
So this was it like the Oscars where they like have the jokes and like, no, you can't do that. That's gonna.
I think so. I just think the way that they were playing it, people did pay a lot for the tables, so.
Frank the
you
Tank.
cut it down. Yeah, you were
Last
a little-
night you did a
little
roast.
PG.
Hey,
Was there any worries about you being too mean to the Mets players?
I think they did tap me down a little bit because I know I would have gone just crazy because I'm 47 years old now, and this year I've had a root canal, I've had to reschedule a colonoscopy, and both of them are more fun than watching that team play.
I feel like we're getting a little bit of the tight 10 you did at the show right now.
No, you saw Steve Cohen.
Yeah,
What happened there?
he basically says I'm too mean to them, and he didn't want to take a picture of me.
That's soft.
Oh.
Is that true? That's soft.
Yeah, so I had like Jake's picture of me standing by him. That's the picture.
That's amazing.
Now, Pete Alonso gave you a jersey. Did you have any interaction at all beyond that?
Not really. I got a bat too.
Oh, that's nice.
Vogel. Was he there?
Vogelback.
Vogelback.
No,
I didn't
yeah.
want to say Vogel Fat because I didn't know his actual name.
I didn't see him there. I saw Jeff McNeil. He stared daggers at me. I don't think he likes being called Jeff McFeeble. In fact, he was missing for a bit. I was wondering if he was in the sniper tower.
Yeah, you said he like looked at his wife and gave both of them gave you a dirty look.
Yes.
Now this guy that won the batting title last year.
Well, this
and
year-
he's talking about you to his wife.
And this year he's batting 260, a real robust. Because I told him that's our bunch of bust. I mean, my God, it never stops. It never stops. It's so feeble. It's incredible. And I hear that Buck Schultz is proud of how they played this year.
Now, Frank, you're a man of morals, pretty much, right? What do you think about sharing the stage with a convicted felon?
Well, he did his time, and now he's
Real bill
on
said
his second time.
Did he try to sell you any Broadway tickets while you were doing the show?
No, he didn't.
No? There we go. Maybe he's learned his lesson, Rico.
What jokes had to be cut?
They wanted my song cut.
Was it just a time or it was?
Well, probably a little bit of both. It goes, Dwight Gooden on cocaine, Mrs. World Series parade. Greg Jeffries is a bitch. Lenny Dykstra is traded. Keith and Barry go away. Strawberry goes to LA. The Mets are a dumpster fire. They are always teasing. They are never pleasing. The Mets are a dumpster fire. They are always teasing. They are never pleasing.
What's the 07, 08 like collapses? How'd you work that in there?
That's,
The 07 and 08 when they collapsed in the
well,
division.
that's later in the song.
Yeah, okay, let's get give me that one.
All right. Carlos Beltran launches strike 3. 2007 collapse. Shea Stadium goes bye-bye. Mets go down the slide. The Mets are a dumpster fire. They are always teasing, they are never pleasing. The Mets are a dumpster fire. They are always teasing, they are never pleasing.
All right, one more for the road. What about Vince Coleman and the Firecrackers? How'd you work that in there?
Bobby Bose shows the Bronx, Vince Coleman, fireworks, saber Hagen, bleach gun, Generation K. What else do I blown away? What else do I have to say? The Mets are a dumpster fire.
Man's good.
They are always teasing. They are never pleasing. The Mets are a dumpster fire. They are always teasing. They are never pleasing.
Now, Frank, well, I'm going to the Subway Series game with Marty Mush and Hugs. How are the Mets going to do tonight? You got.
How great
Scherzer
would
on the
that have
mound?
been if Quiggs had because Billy Joel now, he never wanted to do that for the music video. Big Billy Joel guy, but now he shows all the stuff
Yes.
at the thing. So with the Mets, it would have been great if Quiggs cut that.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
flashing the things like a PowerPoint.
The Mets are going to lose today because Max Scherzer is washed.
Shocked to hear that.
Max Scherzer is washed. Max Scherzer is going to go 4 1/3, 8 hits, 7 runs, and the pain and misery is never going to end. Never going to end.
I think the song is great, Frank. I think a roast kind of loses its value or luster when you just straight up call people a bitch. I think that might have been where they're like, you can't, you gotta
Well,
kind
Greg
of.
Jeffries is not a Met anymore. He hasn't been a Met in 30 years. And Greg Jeffries is a bitch. Everyone
I
knows he's a bitch.
I agree, but you gotta kind of beat around the bush a little bit on it.
My
Lenny
dad,
Dykstra called him a bitch. David Cohn called him a bitch.
my dad liked him a lot. He used to tell us hit like Greg Jeffries. He was
Yeah,
good
but he
for
was a
little-
bitch.
Okay.
He came up as a rookie, had all his bats in the clubhouse, and was upset when anyone touched him. So Keith Hernandez grabbed it back. He says, and this is the captain of the team, mind you. He snapped at Keith Hernandez for the bats. So Roger McDowell pissed on his bats.
So this was 1989, right, Frank?
But-
This happened, right? 88, okay.
But you gotta be like, oh, he's got more piss on his bats than R. Kelly. You can't just be like, you're a bitch. You know what I mean? You gotta have a little.
No, he was a bitch. And then in 1991, he said the open article to the New York Times saying, "Oh, the fans are so hard on us. It's, when you boo us, you're not helping us." Greg Jeffries is the biggest bitch ever to play baseball.
All right.
Today's history lesson.
You got it in. You got it in. You got it in one way or another. You couldn't do it at the roast, so you got it here. Frank, I have one last question. Was there ever a time where you were worried, like, I might get angry and just go on a rant on these motherfuckers and just be like,
The evil grin walking past Cohen is fucking.
No.
yeah.
No.
Like it might go past jokes and just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna get in some licks that I've been wanting to get in for a while.
Nope.
Was
You were able to
Vogelback
control
there?
it?
No, Daniel Vogelback wasn't there. The only one I saw was Jeff McNeil. It was different atmosphere last year. Last year was more of a fun gathering. This year is more muted.
Yeah, it depends on how the team's doing. Frank, my sister walked past Verlander and Kate Upton eating breakfast on the Upper East Side yesterday.
Oh, nice.
I said that's I don't think you should be eating even on an off day. I don't like where the team's at either. So
Well, you mean Justin Verlander?
yeah, yes.
Yes, we didn't get Justin Verlander. We got Jared Eichhoff. I mean, he has the same situation. And Verlander goes up there and he smiles. He smiles. He's getting $40 million. And
Thanks,
he's
everybody.
sucking.
That's the rundown. Can we do like a fade out while he?
You had
Keep
to bring
going.
up
Keep
breakfast.
going. You're doing great.
I mean, my God, and Max
Sodas
Scherzer.
fade.
Max
Fade to
Scherzer's
black.
a
I mean, we got
lunatic.
through 5 different things. I didn't think breakfast on the Upper East Side.
That was the breaking point.
Yeah, doing brunch on the Upper East Side is what.
That was too much.
I mean, why are they on the Upper East Side? There's
where
better
they
places
live.
for rich people to go.